Welcome to Win the Day. Again, I'm Anthony, filling in for Pastor Nat. Today we're talking about the emboldening advocate of truth. As believers, we all know that one of our primary duties is to share our faith with others who do not know the Lord. Evangelism is an essential part of being a believer because the God who saved us also calls us to share with others. Unfortunately, it's probably not too difficult to think of a time when you had an opportunity to share your salvation experience with someone else and withheld for whatever reason. One example that comes to my mind occurred several years ago, shortly after I had been saved. One of my unsaved friends started pointing out how I didn't do the things I used to do. Rather than take that opportunity to explain why, I shrugged it off and kept hanging out with my friend, keeping silent about the work of the Lord in my life. That situation was a natural opportunity to share why my life had changed, and it couldn't have been set up better. Let's look at our text today and see what Jesus has to say about testifying for truth. John 15, 26 through 27 reads, "When the advocate comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth who goes out from the Father, he will testify about me. And you also must testify, for you have been with me from the beginning." Keep in mind the context of this passage. Jesus is discussing how the world will hate and reject the disciples because the world first hated and rejected him. The disciples are probably wondering how they are going to stand when they are attacked by friend, family, and country for their association with Christ. In our passage today, Jesus explains to them that the one who is coming, the advocate, the Holy Spirit, will be the Spirit of truth who will testify about Jesus to that unbelieving world. Jesus tells the disciples that he will send them that advocate, implying that he is leaving. Jesus also tells the disciples that both the advocate and they themselves will testify. Testify is to legally bear witness to the truth of Jesus' salvation message. The disciples are going to share that gospel message with those same people around them who have rejected Jesus already, and those same people who ultimately condemned him to death as a result of that rejection. The disciples then would have been feeling both troubled by what had happened to Jesus and encouraged because they would have the help sent from Jesus to do the things that they needed to do. As we reflect on this message from Jesus to his disciples, let's remember that we have that same advocate. The disciples were going to face great persecution, beatings, rejection, and death in ways that we would struggle to imagine today. But we too are called to share with others just as they were, and to be Jesus' witnesses to the lost. We likely will not face the same level of persecution when we have opportunities to share about Jesus and discuss the change that he has brought in our lives. But we can be emboldened to share because the advocate of truth is also with us. Let's take the opportunities that we have then to share the gospel and the good news of Jesus Christ.